Am I the only one that wasn't that impressed with Happy Death Day? Happy Death Day was a pretty kick-ass movie. Happy Death Day stars Jessica Rothe and is directed by Christopher Landon. What's up, guys? Welcome to another horror review. Happy Death Day. This is one of those that kind of was middle of the road for me. I saw the trailer in the theaters and I thought, haven't we seen this premise a million times already? Maybe not a million, but at least 5, you know, something like that. I know there's Groundhog Day is the one that everybody thinks about, but you know, you had Source Code, you had Before I Wake, or whatever it was called, the one that just came out not too long ago, which wasn't too bad. The slasher genre and this premise were a match made in heaven in my mind, if done right. This could have been great. But before I get into the pros and cons, let's talk about the plot. So in Happy Death Day, Jessica Rothe plays Tree. How in the hell could you ever forget that name? Her name is Tree. And the next day she wakes up in this college dorm room like many college students do, and she is left to do a walk of shame. And right away we can tell that Tree is not the most likable person. She's pretty cranky. She's kind of a bitch. And right away this has some of those Groundhog Day plot elements. If you remember, Bill Murray wasn't the nicest guy either. I mean, her roommate actually gives her a birthday cupcake and she throws it in the garbage. That's how likable Tree is. But later in the movie she ends up at this party and there are the students that are wearing the goofiest looking mask I've ever seen in my life. And she ends up getting killed. And then she wakes up. And then she goes through the same day over and over again. And she's trying to solve her murder. And which is an interesting premise. Again, love this premise. Now let's get into the pros. First off, Jessica Rothe is a fantastic actress. And for just, you know, a little slasher movie like this, you don't really have to give it your all. But she does. You can tell that she takes the character seriously. You can tell that she wants to do a really good job, and she does. And there are some nice moments with her, but when she really has to emote, she does. More than most actors her age, I think. And to me, she elevated the material and the character. Up to a point in this movie, I was completely invested. I was engrossed in what was going on, and I wanted to know more. They had a really good rhythm going. And that really is my second pro. I'd say the middle of this movie, there is a montage, and I know montages can be cliche, but this was one of the funnest montages I've seen in a slasher movie. It almost felt like a combination of a slasher and one of those, you know, teen romance movies, but in the best way. So this is the point where I thought, this is going to be great. I'm going to love this movie. And then we have the cons. To me, it just really ran out of steam. It's like they didn't really know where to go with the rest of the movie. And I think one of the biggest problems for me was tonally it was just all over the place. There's even a section where she's making amends with her father. And a lot of that stuff's nice and all, but it kind of derailed the momentum of the movie in my mind. I wasn't really here for that type of movie. And if that stuff is in this movie, then it better be pretty damn compelling. And I didn't really care about what was going on between her and her father. And another con that I have with this movie is I didn't really care about the killer, even though I didn't know who the killer was. But I will say, I called the killer within, I'd say, 20 minutes of this movie. And I don't know if that's a con, because I don't know if a lot of you guys called the killer within, you know, 20 minutes of the movie. But I sure did, and even my son called the killer within 20 minutes of the movie. And to me, that's kind of a con. And then, of course, my last con is that mask. That is the worst mask I've seen on a killer probably since Terror Train. Terror Trains is definitely worse, but this one's, it's just a really bad mask. It's not scary at all. I think the Valentine mask of Cupid could have been just as cheesy, but they did a great job with that mask. It actually worked pretty well. Now, that's not to say that I didn't have a decent time with this movie. I'm not going to give it a 2 hours lost. I will definitely give it a low humdrum. I might catch it again if it's, you know, on Netflix or something like that. And, you know, I'm not against giving movies a second chance. But as far as the Groundhog Day premise movies go, I think this is probably the worst one I've seen. And I have enjoyed pretty much all the Groundhog Day premise movies I've seen. So that's not really a hard knock on this. So anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on Happy Death Day? Looking forward to hearing them. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day, every day. And on Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. You can follow me at Drumdums on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. If you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.